And I remember I always say you can convert your strength to your weakness to strength if you understand who you really are. Now, as I was saying, as I said, we have what we call vision, the ability to know what you'll be able to do, what you want to achieve, setting yourself a goal. And I said, the component of vision is first you have insight, you have hindsight, and you have foresight. Now, what is foresight? I'll start from foresight. Ability to see beyond now, ability to see beyond now. Now, peradventure, you have a gift and you don't know how to work around it, how to develop yourself in that. Now, there are people who can help you out, and that is why we come from the platform of Uniplan Integrated Service, where we talk about all these things to help you build your potential, building yourself, building your capacity. You have to work on yourself. Are you with me? You have to work on yourself, because when you are ignorant of this, it will affect you to the extent that you just, be, moving all around without focus, without direction. And I said, vision also helps you to be focused, helps you to know where you are going, where you are coming from. And it's part of what I'll be deliberating on today, if time permits us, to talk about where am I coming from, meaning your source. Many times your source depends on your experience, where you came from, where you are hewn from, or the kind of perception you have where you are coming up. Different background, we have different background, different mindset. There are things that people would have instructed you or taught you where you are coming up. But I must let you know, we have many people outside today that when you allow your background to affect you, I'll say personally that is ignorance. But you must allow yourself to affect you. What did I mean by that, and how did I mean by that? What I mean by this is that ability to be able to identify your strength, your person. This is you. If you are this, Mr. B, know yourself as Mr. B. Now, what is the strength of Mr. B? What is the weakness of Mr. B? How do you convert that to something great in life? How do you convert that to something positive that will turn your entire life around? Today we have many people out there who roam around without direction, without focus. But here we make you to understand that you have the potential in you. You have the ability in you. You have all what it takes to become the better version of yourself. You don't have to lean on the past. You don't have to lean on the error, probably where you're coming from. Something happened because of this. I cannot achieve this. I'll say that is ignorance. I must tell you from experience. If you are allowing what you have experienced in the past, see it as the past. How can you make things right? And how do you intend to stay on that lane and develop yourself, develop that potential in you? When you misplace your identity, you work where you are not supposed to work. You give energy to what you are not supposed to give energy to. Why? Because you don't know yourself. But when you know yourself, you know what you are good at. You know what you are capable of doing without stress, without being people telling you you must do this, without not being controlled. You just have that inward. Let me say, you just have that inward belief in yourself that I can do this. I find it so easy to do this thing. I find it very pleasing to do this thing. When I do this thing, I find peace in myself. I don't find, it may be something, you may be doing it in a direction that is not even well good enough. But when you sit down, you meditate. Of recent, I was talking to someone very close to me, so dear to me. I was telling her, I said, first, people will give you what to do. Why? Because you don't know what to do. I'll say it again. People will give you what to do or tell you what to do. Why? Because you don't know what to do. What I mean by that is that when you are there, you are always doing nothing, or you are doing a particular thing that is not yielding results. You are not seeing, you are not flowing in it. You don't find that synergy, you don't find that passion in that thing. Then you have to sit and think, am I really good at this? Many of us, because in the name of finances, fine. You can start from somewhere in the name of things that you need. You invest your energy, you invest your energy on things that doesn't matter. You invest yourself, you give your attention to things that doesn't add value to you. Many today go on social media, read a lot of story. As you're doing that, you are investing, you are contributing to the development of that platform. But I must tell you, when you observe that, okay, you have your passion, just you can carve out something for yourself, and at the end of the day, you'll be making profit for yourself, and you'll be heading to that place you want to achieve in life. All right. Now, I was saying that you need to sit down, think on yourself, sit down, write your weaknesses, and your strengths. Write them out. What are the things you think that you can do very well? What are the things you think you can't do this, you can't fluent? Write them out. Put them on paper. Like what they say, write the vision, make it plain for those who read, will run by it. All right, before I continue, let's go on a short break. I'll be right back. Welcome back. All right, like I said you sit, plan, write this thing down, and work on it. Now, when you now do that, that will now lead us to vision, as I'm about to start. That will now lead us to what? Vision. What did I call vision? The ability to plan, have a future in imagination. What do you tend to be the next 5 years? Many of you don't have that plan. You don't have that set goal. You just feel, let's live the day at a time. You go to work, you come back from work, you sleep, you wake up, you do some necessary things. The next day you go, you repeat the same cycle over and year, and age is counting. Year by year, month is counting. And I know that when you assess yourself, what has been the income, what has been the profit, what have I added to myself, discover that 0 point. You understand? So, because you don't have a set goal. There are many people who want to, you graduated for a few years because you have schooled, probably you have masters. I tell to people that school is not to give you job. I say that school is to give you more information, enlighten you, tell you more about yourself, build you up in the path that you think you are good at, and build up strength in that direction. Not because you are done. We have many people there today who are still looking for a job. Why? Because they don't know what they have. Fine, it is good, but you have to look beyond that. You graduated this year. What do you tend to be? What do you tend to achieve the next 5 years? The next 10 years? Right? And then how do you tend to walk in that path? We say career path. How do you intend to walk in that path? And that is why you have to, connect with people that can help you build your potential, your capacity. You don't start looking for a job that because there's no job out there, you start, you have been looking for a job for many years, for many months, nothing is coming forth. But that is not an excuse for you to sit down, plan. The next 5 years, what do you want to achieve? How do you plan and work on that? How do you need to develop yourself in that? All right. And I say the component of vision. Number one, I say foresight. Foresight. And what I mean by foresight is to see the things that are far off, to know what is ahead of you. You are not seeing now. You are not looking at the present situation. Yes, you are still looking for a job. But when you have the vision, you have a plan for your life, there will be a way around it at the end. That is why we say you need to do what? Build yourself. Build capacity. You don't have to limit yourself on, I have graduated, I have masters. Some, I've seen some people who have masters, who have PhD, who are still working in secondary, primary school. Yes, I can tell you that. I have two of them as a friend. Why? Because you are not living or planning beyond what you are earning, beyond what you are seeing. There are a lot of potential in you. Wherever you are, wherever you are listening to me, there are a lot of potential in you. There are a lot of ability in you. But the truth of the matter is that many of us fail to be able to identify how to make that thing something beautiful in our lives, in your life. Now, ability to see what? To see the future in the now. To see beyond whatever situation, whatever circumstances you are pressing towards now. I said earlier on how I started. You remember I said you have to be able to identify yourself, sit, plan, write your strengths, write your weaknesses. How do you annex that to something positive? Are you with me? And now, even there are many people out there who are also looking for a job, and you have the opportunity to also develop yourself in some professional courses. At least this will give you an edge while you are looking for a job. Why can't you give your attention to that and build your capacity, build yourself in that line? When you have this, it also adds to whatever credential you are having. And with this, you see yourself, having an edge, even though you are looking for white collar job or something. But the most important thing is that you have to build capacity, ability to do what? To know, to plan for the future. That is what I call foresight. Then also say insight. 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 Ability to see beyond what your physical eye can see, beyond what the situation around you can see. Just like seeing in a call it it's a microscope now, microscope. To be able to see things in details. You see things in what? In details. Why? Because many a times when you are planning, trying to identify yourself, trying to know how can I build up in this? How can I work on myself in this? You must be able to see, plan for, be detailed, be sure of what you want to become. I have someone who I reverence so much. He's like a father to me. When he wanted to start a school, he went to the place and saw the place was bushy, and people around him were laughing. What do you want to do here? He said, school. And everyone were just laughing that maybe you want to plant yam. It's not possible because this place cannot become a school. And true to it, when you look at it from the physical appearance, just with the natural eye, you will say to yourself, there's no way here. So he said, he went to the man and told the man, the owner of the land, please. And the man said, you can't get this land. You can't get it. He said he went back. He prayed and he was convinced that this is the place and he can see something beautiful coming in this place. So he said, okay, let me be paying the rent for the land while we are still negotiating for the payments of this place, which they eventually agreed upon. So that means that it was paying double. So it was renting as well as planning and looking for the money to purchase the land. All right, to cut a long story short, the people who were now making jest of him, wow, why can't you build school here? You want to build yam factory. To cut a long story short, at the end of the day, this school becomes one of the best in Ondo State. One of the best in Ondo State today. Now, the people who make jest of him, that said, you want to plant yam, there's that. Now, their children became part of the yam that was built, that graduated from that school. Why? The truth of the matter is that those people were blinded by what they see. So many times, once you don't have vision and you are not convinced to see things beyond the circumstances around you, there are bound to be limitation. Are you with me? There are bound to be what? Limitation. There are bound to be hindrances. There are bound to be weariness, weaknesses, distractions. These are things, all those things are there. Why? Because when you are limited to seeing things with your natural eyes, so you must have the ability to see in details beyond what you think you are. Now, let me tell you something. One of the things that affect many people today is that when you look at the strength you have now, the capacity you have now, you say, wow, I can achieve this, I cannot become this, I cannot become that. That is not an excuse. I remember when I wanted to start my education line, I first did NC then, and it was a private institution. The funnest part was that it was my friend that got the form from me, which I filled and I started. I was schooling in a private institution, and I was still paying for myself in a private institution. So I have to do a lot of work. I do this, I do that, I cut here, I do a lot of work just to meet up. So a particular time when the man called me and he said I was unable to pay up to time at that time, and I was not permitted to go into the examination or to write to sit for my exams. And the owner of the school said to me, because I was one of his once he has we do program for the school and things like that. So he said to me, said, "Some promise." He said, "You can't continue this school. Can you just go back home and work and just do something meaningful for your life?" He said that to me that because he won't allow me to enter this hall and sit for the exam. I got home that very day. I cried to myself, and I said, with what this man said is enough encouragement to me to let me know that there's something beautiful that will come out of this. So I spoke to a lot of people who could help me out to so I determined in my heart. I never allow what you have said to weigh me down, although it's painful. But at the end of the day, I became one of the best students in that organization, that institution, when I graduated today. Now, if I have limited myself based on the distraction of the word that the man has said to me, he said, because I don't have a parent and a father, I don't have mother, so nobody could pay for me. I just been the one struggling from year one, and now I'm towards my final year. It was so difficult at that time, but I don't need to allow things around me to affect me. Though we have people in the same shoe with me at that time. At the end of the day, many of them, just dropped out. But I said, no, I'm going to finish this. And after I graduated, I continue. So what I'm telling you is that when you have a vision for yourself, you have a plan, you have a goal, you are directed to that goal, you are directed and your focus to that direction. At the end of the day, I must tell you the truth. It pays out. It brings the best out of you. It shows the potential and the ability you have to persist, to resist, to be consistent in that. Then I said that distractions will come, limitations will come, but you must have that ability to see in details. These are the things I want to become, no matter what. You don't be distracted, you focus, give yourself attention, be consistent in what you are doing. Don't know I said distraction will come, which is true. But when you are consistent and you are determined, then you follow. At the end of the day, to achieve the success. That is that. Then thirdly, I said hindsight. 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 To be able to see things that are behind you. To be able to see. Also plan for some distractions that may come. While you are planning for that, you plan for things that are behind you. That peradventure this may happen. Some contingencies, but you must be able to plan yourself out. Plan it along, that when this thing comes, it won't affect you, because you already had planned for this. But many people don't, because you don't have planned for all those things. That is why you see when it is a little bit for you to hit the target, then you see them stepping back. Why? Because of the distraction that just came in. They have not plan that along. Are you with me? So that is what to say to that. So you must have that ability to plan things that may come and affect or disrupt your plan for the future. Are you with me? Like I said, the story that I was saying the other time about this man, he also planned this. I can see it because by the time when it was, when the school was coming up, growing up and coming up, students are coming, children are coming, parents are bringing their words to the school. And, some people were hungry that how come? Why is it that, they started seeing other things, bring distractions? But, many times they will call them and say, let's come together and let's pray. These are things that are happening, that are bound to happen. Let's pray in order for us not to be distracted. I'm encouraged by all those words. So it's to let you know that when you are planning to, know who you are, know your identity, then it will now help you to plan for the things behind you. All right. I will stop for now. We'll be right back. Let's go on a short break before we continue on how do you move on all of what I have said. All right, welcome back. Now, in the place of you planning for yourself, knowing your identity, knowing yourself, knowing how to build on your capacity, your weakness and strength, what are the things vision do? But before then, I will say a man without a vision is a man that plans to fail. A man without a vision is a man that plans to fail. A man that has no vision is a man that have no future. Are you with me? A man that has no vision is a man that has no future. So, and such person can easily go back to the past. So when all those things come, it affects your presence. It affects the flow that you should have, go through in that direction. Now, what are the things vision do in the place of you trying to identify yourself, knowing your identity, knowing what you are good at, and trying to put them, what does this thing bring to you? What does vision brings to you? What does it do? First, I say that it contradicts or contrasts your present reality. It contradicts or contrasts your present reality. I said when I was explaining the other time that when you have a vision and you have a plan in the place of you identifying or knowing your identity, it helps you to stay focused. It helps you to look beyond now. Look beyond the resources you are having now. Many people are limited based on their resources, but many times that should not be your excuses. I say to people in my fold that when you lack wisdom or knowledge, it's not an excuse for you to fail or to become a failure. So ignorance is not an excuse. So you must be able to develop yourself in every way that you can. Don't say, this is where I'm good at. Let me just stay there. But you don't know, opportunity can come to you in the nearest future. And at the end of the day, this opportunity may open to you a new chapter in your life. But because you say, I am limited to the resources that I'm able to produce, I'm able to give out, then it brings limitation to you. So what I'm saying in essence, you must be able to build capacity and plan for the future. When I was single, I did a lot of work. I invested in myself. When I got married, my wife said to me, why is it that everything you don't want to, give your money out? I said, no, it's not I don't want to give my money. I can't have experience in these things. And I can do it. and yet I will choose to spend my money to something else. So many of the things at home, I do this, I do that, I do this, I do that. Why? Because I invested myself in all these areas. So and today is helping me. So what am I saying? You must build on yourself and not be limited to what you can give out. You know, a man becomes, it is what you have that you can give. You can't give what you don't have. You are limited to what you have. So they say they are out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speak. So out of the abundance of things you have in you, then you can showcase what your gifts are and your talent is. You don't know whatever thing you will do that people will point out to and say, wow, I love this thing. I love, oh, have you been good at this? Have you been doing this? Why? Because you have developed yourself in that area. So I said vision contrasts and contradicts your what? Present reality. It helps you to move beyond the now, beyond the physical and the resources you have at hand. And you must be a person who is dogged, who can take risk. Because not taking risk is a risk. If you choose not to take risk, it's a risk for you not taking risk. So you don't know what will pay you. All right. Then the second thing I have here, it takes you beyond. It takes you beyond where you are at the moment. Vision takes you beyond the present. It takes you beyond now. It takes you further, takes you ahead of things. You know, I was talking to someone of recent. I said, when you see me planning for something that you think it doesn't matter now, I said, I'm not looking at now. I'm looking at the future. Because a situation will happen whereby at the end of the day, I will need it. So I have to plan it now and work towards it now. She now said, okay. So you must understand that it also, when you plan and you're trying, the place of you trying to identify yourself, trying to know your ability, your strength, your weakness, and you are trying to harness every resources that you have to build capacity in this area, I said to you, it will take you beyond now. All right. Then the next is that vision gives you or brings to you to resource, connects you to resource, connects you to people who can help you, who can also develop and invest in you. You know, of recent, someone called me. I was saying he wants to do this, he wants to do that. I want to do that. I said, okay. I said, you know what you can do? I said, okay, what? Just plan, write them out. Let me see. So he wrote them out and he told me. I said, okay, you know what you do now? Choose what do you think you are good at from this area. He chose this. I said, okay, now you have the ability to talk to people. You have the ability to, give ideas to people. You have the ability to tell them to do this, and it will work for them. I said, why can't you develop yourself in human resource management? So that will help you to make it a professional way. Build yourself in that area. And by now, he has been doing it. Very soon, you'll be through with that. You get what I'm saying now? So it connects you, brings you connection. It brings the good potential out of you. That is one of the things that you must also know that vision also brings. Let me give you one more before I move on to the next thing. I said vision conceive or create or receive new opportunity, meaning show you a brighter and a bigger picture, the version of yourself, of who you are going to become in the nearest future. If you dream big to become someone who have a company, who has a firm, who has an institution, who has an organization, and you can become what you think. You can become what you profess. You can become what you want to become. If you have a positive mind. And that is why you must have, I say it again, you must have a positive mind. Say, guard your heart with all diligence, for out of it flows the issues of life. So your heart needs to be guarded. I said the other time, your heart needs to be guarded. You can't give what you don't have. I said it earlier on. So meaning that you work on yourself when you are planning at that, and what does then brings to what vision brings to you? It brings you more opportunity. It brings you more opportunity. All right. Now, how can you receive vision? How can you perceive vision? How? People say many a times you have to sleep and dream. You dream. After you dream, now there's no doubt about that. We have many people who have their goals about life from, everybody are not having that same grace, don't have that same gift. But you are there, you have been suffering, you don't know how to know which way to go, what I need to do. How can I conceive? How can I bring myself to what I want to become? This is what I have passion for. How can I become? I will tell you. One, I will say first, through gift. You can know your vision through gift. Some say, I will say, permit me to use this word, spiritual revelation. Probably you are gifted, you can see things, but when you sleep, you dream, and at the end of the day, you dream so that you are this, you are that. Yes, you can. When you now wake up, you can see, okay, when you regain consciousness, so to say, you can ask, okay, this is what I saw myself in. So I think this is what God wants me, or this is what I feel I want to become. This is me, and I love this. So you have a set goal already. You have seen it already. Then you walk towards that line. So because I can give you some example from the scripture, but of course we are not here to talk about the scripture. We're here to talk about career path. All right. Now, secondly, through deep concern. You can perceive or have a vision through deep concern. I will explain. When you have a concern concerning something, towards something, you have a passion for something. But whenever someone talk about these things, you feel so concerned. You feel so. I will use a particular story from the Bible. Permit me to use that. In the book of Nehemiah, this man is a cupbearer of the king, and he was not there because he was already in exile in Babylon, and he was serving. Well, a reputable man, and the king loves him. He was a cupbearer, and he heard that he asked about the people at Jerusalem, and he said to them, and they said to him, well, the wall has broken, things are not going too well, things are not going too fine there. He felt so bad, he was so moody. He was not happy because he had so much concern for the welfare of his people. So when he had to go and serve the king saw his countenance, and he said, Nehemiah, why are you so sad? And he said, my people at Jerusalem are not faring well. The wall has broken, and that is the cause for my sadness, for my fallen countenance. And the king asked him, what do you want me to do? So he took permission, and the king gave him the permission to go. So having that deep concern, having that passion, peradventure you are there, as you are listening to me on this program on Alore Radio. You can visit us wherever you are in the world by dialing www.aloreradio.com. Wherever you are, through Facebook channel, you can join us there. So he has deep concerns. So by this, he can pursue, and at the end of the day, he was able to achieve that goal, was able to achieve that vision. Why? Because he had plans. He identified, I have passion for this. So, and went ahead in that direction. And the last thing that I would say in that, the third one, which is through association and impartation. You never can tell the influence that can rub upon you. For example, for those of us that care to read, that reads the Bible, you see we have someone who called Moses, and we have someone who is called Joshua. You can agree with me that the same passion, the same vision, the same mandate that God gave to Moses was the same mandate he gave to Joshua. How did it happen? You remember, whenever he's going for prayer, to pray, to do some things on the mount, the Bible records that Joshua is always along with him. You just stay in a corner, watching, observing. Who is the person you have been working with? And at the end of the day, you see that you have passion, you have influence, you have love for this, that can also rub on you. So by that, you can also, have vision, know how to create vision for yourself. Are you with me? So this, I say that it will help you to develop yourself in that. To help you to develop yourself in all those areas. So now, I would say, wrap it up before I just point to uh, uh, our source. Still on career path, and I'm taking you through this career right today, for you to know that there are a lot of potentials in you, there are a lot of gifts in you. You may be in an office working in a particular place, and you discover that people are always talking about some things, some characters, some things that you are doing, and they love it for positivity. Can you sit and look at that, meditate on that, work on that, and see yourself if you can actually, build something from that which they are seeing in you that you are not seeing? Because there are a lot of things that you must see for yourself. But once you don't see, people can also see for you. But it now takes someone who has vision, who is able to identify, who is able to know what he wants to become. Some takes years. Some takes early as you're growing up. Some you might have already been in it, and along the line you are stuck. You don't know what to do, how to do it, how can you develop in it. That is why we are here for you today. So now, I said earlier on that these things, three, I said, how can you know, or how can you receive, or how can you perceive vision? I gave you true spiritual revelation, true deep concern, and true impartation or influence. This can rub on you when you move with something for long, and at the long run you see yourself finding joy in doing it, finding love in doing it, and you feel so much concern towards that. Then it's also a pathway for you, and it can become a benefit to your life and future and to people around you. All right, so that is that about that. So the next thing, in a few minutes, I will say, where am I coming from? That's the next question. That's question number 2. Where am I coming from? That is why I'll be stopping today, and that is why we'll be kicking off from there in our next program. Where am I coming from? Where am I coming from? That is the source. So one of the things you must be able to do to follow this path is that you must look at your source. Okay? Where you are coming from does not give you a kind of privilege, does not give you a kind of opportunity that you may will or wish to have that you are not seeing. So your source is also important for you to also consider why you are touring towards this career path. Know that source. Know what you can achieve, what your capacity in that line, and don't move beyond what you can offer at the moment, for you not to create a problem or distraction for yourself. So that is where I'll be stopping today, as that with giving you more enlightenment on who am I, your identity, which I've explained a lot about that today. And I'm stopping at the next line is, where am I coming from, which is your source. And I will say a good day for you, and I'll say keep enjoying Alore Radio. Don't forget to join this page and also like the page, and you can visit us anywhere you are in the world by simply dialing www.aloreradio.com. Anywhere you are in the world, you can join us on our Facebook platform, www.facebook.com/Alore Radio, or on our YouTube platform, Alore Radio. Just follow and like, and you'll be having a lot of information about us, about Alore Radio. I remain myself, Sam Promise. You call me Lord SP, you're on point. And you can join me and follow me through on my number is 080 32 80 2220. 080 32 80 2220. I say, have a lovely day and enjoy your day and work on the things you've had today. God bless you, and greetings from my boss, Dr. Kunle Awotiku. Bye for now. Till same time, same station on Monday. God bless you.